مشاكل شعب، نشوف طريقة تنمية، نشوف طريقة تعليم، نبني دولتنا ويكون زي دول العالم. ما في دولة بتعقديلا، نحن شعب واحد، وطننا واحد، رئيسنا واحد، SPLM نمبر 1، نحن كلنا SPLM.
Please, I would like to ask those who are sitting behind, please. We have empty chairs in front. If you don't mind, please. These are our future leaders, and it is important that we listen to them, and we want to hear what they are going to present to us. Please let us welcome them.
Ambassador Ngarangdi Ngakwong, Head of Mission to Washington. Ambassador Bob Wood, Deputy Head of Mission to Washington. Ambassador Gordon Boyd, Comrade Dadu Jarabubek, Chairman of the Splm USA Secretariat. All members of the Splm USA Secretariat, our dignitaries, representatives of the SPLM-IO, GRECO, South Sudanese academics and professionals, all of our guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Nguyen Muchoy Kudi, and I am the Deputy Secretary for Information in the SPLM USA Secretariat Office. I'm delighted to be among you here today, and I will be the facilitator of the youth panel. Millions of young people around the world have been displaced due to armed conflict, and as a result, many have been separated from their families and communities. That very problem, among others, has affected the South Sudanese youth, not only here in the United States, but also around the world. As the future of South Sudan, we, the youth, must not allow the past to dictate our future. Let us not allow the past to dictate our future. And we must not settle for the status quo. For our goal in the peace-building process is to eliminate tribalism and promote unity, eradicate poverty, and focus on nation building. Let us take full charge of our destiny by promoting education amongst ourselves and acquiring the necessary skills to build a more prosperous and peaceful nation of the Republic of South Sudan. Ladies and gentlemen, I would not take too much time, for I'd like to also give a chance to the panel members. And one of the first people that I'd like to give a chance is Aluel Kwanyin Bol. I'd like for you to you only have 5 minutes. So the first minute I'd like for you to introduce yourself, and then the next 4 minutes kind of tell us what is the role of youth in the peace building process, and what do you think is the way forward.
Hi everyone, my name is Owabo Kainagat, and I'm with the South Sudanese Youth Congress. I would first like to thank the organizers of this conference for recognizing the importance of diversity and communal efforts in ensuring and sustaining peace in South Sudan. It is with great humility that I stand before you on this panel. As a representative of the South Sudanese Youth Congress, we are thankful for the opportunity to share our mission and experiences as an organization in the hopes of furthering discussions on peace, reconciliation, and the vital role youth play in developing our nation. Before speaking any further, I'd just like to clarify that the South Sudanese Youth Congress has no political affiliations. Our organization is dedicated to being unapologetically inclusive and welcomes the participation of youth from all backgrounds, regardless of their political, or religious identity. Furthermore, our programming also extends to our brothers and sisters from Darfur, Blue Nile, Nuba Mountains, and the Bay. Our three-body organization, comprised of the Advisory Council, the General Assembly, and the Secretariat, is designed to serve youth in the diaspora and enable them to take proactive actions in improving their circumstances. We often speak of peace as an alternative to war, a state in which we experience less bloodshed or fear of being targeted. This increased sense of security is very well a characteristic of peace. However, we are of the belief that peace is not the mere absence of violence. Moreover, peace is development. It requires us to serve others and to invest in the power of education. For us to achieve sustainable peace, we must not only be concerned with saving lives, but also improving the quality of life and the daily social conditions our communities face. These social conditions become especially significant when addressing our nation's demographics. A nation where 72% of the population is under the age of 30. A nation where the youth truly are the largest tribe. Despite these realities, youth are often underrepresented and ill-equipped with tools to support their development into productive members of their communities. As an organization committed to growth, we have a special opportunity to address the issues that affect Sudanese youth in the diaspora. The prosperity of the world's youngest nation largely depends on the development of Sudanese youth in Western countries who have more opportunities and access to education than their counterparts home. The vision of the Congress is to enable socially vibrant youth who will help South Sudan compete socially, economically, and politically in sub-Saharan Africa and internationally. This vision started last August 2014 with a small group of individuals and has continued to thrive with the support and commitment of our growing leadership team. We launched the Congress this past July in Kansas City, Missouri, with a 4-day Why Sudanese conference dedicated to knowledge of self, growth, leadership, and community engagement. We had to share their own interests and learn to recognize the similarities we share with each other. And after learning more about the history of South Sudan, groups competed with each other through song and dance. The spirit of healthy competition was also inspired during our basketball clinic, where elementary, middle, and high school students practiced the art of discipline through training, games, and academic and personal goal setting. A special moment occurred when some of the mothers competed against their children in a basketball shootout and won. We all took great joy in seeing parents actively engage in their children's lives. The Why Sudanese launch was concluded by productive discussions about social identity and issues unique to us as Sudanese Americans, and lastly, with the celebration of the community and what it represents to us. We had the opportunity to host another conference in Rochester, Minnesota this past September, where we continue to highlight the importance of redefining leadership while also addressing gender-specific and generational issues in our community. The issues affecting Sudanese youth in America are significant. We must make college more accessible, provide youth with academic, social, and professional support, and mitigate gaps in communication between parents and their children through effective programs and healthy dialogue. Our members are regionally dispersed, however, by sharing our unique insights and experiences from our own communities and combining our resources, we are better able to serve Sudanese youth across the country. In the words of one of our co-founders, we are the single most important generation in the history of our people. It is vital that we live and celebrate that truth by empowering each other every day, producing the changes we want to see, and centralizing our efforts. Take ownership of your role in the future of your country. Take ownership of the South Sudanese Youth Congress, for it is yours. Collectively, we can create a culture where our ideas are nourished and our potential is realized. Thank you all so much for your time, and if you'd like to know more about our organization and how to get involved and keep up with upcoming events, please do reach out to one of us personally or follow us on social media at WeAreSSYC. Thank you.
Would you agree that she did a fantastic job? Women weighing. A youth weighing, yes. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to tell you earlier that this is the South Sudanese Youth Congress of America. So, and she is the co-founder of that organization. The next person I'd like to introduce to you or to give a chance is Comrade Dadu Artima. Comrade Dadu, as you know, you only have 1 minute to introduce yourself, and then 4 minutes after that, tell us what you think the role of youth is in the peace building process.
All right. Thank you, Comrade Joel. Greetings to all people in this hall. Assalamu alaikum. Well, my name.
1 minute, you'll be.
My name is Dadu Artima. I work for the office of the Splm as the Secretary General for the Advisory Council. When I was asked, when I saw my name on the list, that I was going to speak as one of the panelists to discuss youth issues, I asked myself, am I a youth?
Yes.
You know, because I have tried to sit with elders, and then I find myself always saying, I'm going to give more. And I was like, no, I don't belong there. When I sit with young men, I'm young. Yes. When I sit with young men and they talk and disagree or agree on certain things, when I speak, they keep quiet. Meaning what? Oh, this is all the men talking now. So who are we? All right. Well, we'll still talk. As youth, it's an elusive kind of an area. But again, there are issues that definitely need to be addressed. I've heard many times people in power refer to young people, younger than myself, that you are the leaders of tomorrow. The youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But when it comes to fighting, they go back. Ya Shabab, they dur bitaku. Ya Jama. You are saying that these people are the leaders of tomorrow. But when it's war, when the guns are there, you run back and say the youth, say take the guns and destroy yourself. So where is that tomorrow? The problem that we faced as South Sudanese, we have already created a lot of hatred amongst young people. Why? Because at home, the discussions are nasfilan. The talking is all about the other, and the other. Mind you, there is no person born in this world hating another person. It is us, the adults. It is us, the parents. It is us, the community members and leaders, who implant that hatred in younger people. There are issues regarding participation of younger people, participation of youth in leadership. You will find that when it comes to national issues in our country, South Sudan, younger people are thought to not know a lot about the nation. And that is not true. We have gone to school. Young people have gone to school. You will find that at home here in America, your own children who have gone to school, holding master's degree in their own fields. When they come home, you want to dictate to them certain things simply because they're young and you assume that they don't know anything. Really? You ought to listen to them. This is a master's degree holder with you in the house. Use that knowledge to build yourself. Use that knowledge to build your house. When we talk of empowerment, bringing youth together so that we can all move together and build our nation and build our societies. We can only do that if we allow room so that ideas and thoughts of younger people are incorporated in the policies that are implemented in the nation. I will go deeper later to explain some of these things when we get into more discussions regarding the peace process, more discussions regarding the roles that the youth will assume. But my message this afternoon or this evening to younger people in this hall, if you're a young man here, please refuse to be a mujahid for any politician. Refuse to be a mujahid for any politician. Why would you go and die for someone who is enjoying his life, enjoying his wealth that he looted from the government? Someone simply said, can you explain what mujahid is? Maybe yes, I can explain that. A mujahid is a holy fighter. A mujahid is a holy fighter, it's an Arabic word, and mostly used in certain faith. And it is a person who fights for a holy cause. I mean, who fights for a belief. A person who sacrifices his life expecting that he will be rewarded in heaven. There's no heaven in politics. No. We get our heaven now in politics. So, young men, please refuse to be a mujahid for any politician, because when they tell you, go and fight, tomorrow you will be the leaders, tomorrow you will be our replacements, tomorrow you will get the reward of the 7 virgins. That's a lie. You go to fight, you're going to die over there. Who went? He's marrying more wives and more children, making money. If you're going to go and fight, Ana Ladu Azima, I've made a promise to myself that I will not be a mujahid for this politician. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Lador Tima, for the information and also for the humor. I'd like to give the next person, Joseph Nyet, I'd like to give you a chance. Let us be mindful that to focus on the problems from the youth perspective and what role should the youth play in this peace-building process, in addition to what is the way forward. So as I said before, you only have 1 minute to introduce yourself and then 4 minutes to kind of get into it. Thank you.
Well, by the way, my name is Joseph Mokuer Nyet. I participate in so many activities in Splm, National Secretariat, in human rights activities, other things in the past. So I'm a father of 5. By the way, I'm young, of course. I'm 37 years old. You cannot see in my body, but I am 37 years old. So if we talk about youth, we talk about the future. If you say youth, you talk about future. So to go deeper, I really thank everyone that is here before I go forward. I thank all the organizers, especially the new administration of National Secretariat, for the good job they have done. I was in National Secretariat for how many years? 4 years. And I haven't seen the best thing that you have done. You guys have done. So that's one thing that I will thanks to the new National Secretariat in the office of and the leadership of Lado Jaragube. So I really appreciate it. It doesn't mean that we didn't do a good job, but I'm just saying. Yeah, so by the way, when we talk about youth, we talk about future. There are so many things that we need to talk about for our future. And what are the causes of all this problem? Myself, if I have to claim to be a soldier today, I would claim the stage of Lieutenant General. If I have to claim it, because I went to the army when I was 7, 8 years old. None of you have been there. I don't know, some people may be there, I don't know. But I was in the Katipa Adit. It's not there anymore. They are very old. But I was there. So I participate. My duties were not the thing that I'm supposed to do. But by the way, it is a life that I have been in. I told my story in the past, but I don't want to see my children. Like I said, I have 5 children. I don't want them to live the way I live. I have 26 years that I haven't seen my mother from 1985 to 2011 when they came out from Khartoum. My mother was locked in there, staying there for all those years from 1985 when we separated. So this war, the independence came in 2011. That's where they came out from Khartoum. I cannot see her. So we have to put in structure in which to stop all these problems. We don't need to see our future invest in the same cause. And the thing that we have to do is to be peaceful, to learn God, basically. If you understand what God means, you will receive miracles. I have been in accident for 3 times, a deadly accident, and I have no scratches, I tell you right now. My car rolled down, and I'm still like, maybe there's something God wants me to do. I show my pictures online, and people don't believe it, but that's true. I made very deadly accident. You cannot live in accident. But we have to focus on how to save our people. To save our people. How are we going to change our people? Are we going to follow the same route? If your father is Joro, then you become Joro too? No. We have to go in a different direction. We need to lead in a new world, new rule, new things. Okay? But does not mean that you have to go against your country. Does not mean that you have to tell lies so you can be famous. If I would have told lies, I would have told lies a long time ago. Basically, Splm was my mother and father. I lived in there for so many years. They saved my life in the bush and so many things. That's why I survived. That's why I'm here today.
You have surpassed your 5 minutes.
Okay. So in use factor, give me one minute. In use factor, we have to create a system in which we can utilize our knowledge and bring it back home, not to leave it here. American people are good people. We can express the truth and they will listen. If we learn the truth, we can take it back home. And that's what we need to take away from here. There are so many things that we don't need to take as youth. We learn from our past and we refrain it and get a good achievement in the future. And that's how we have to do it. And I will tell you right now, I have an organization, and it's in Nairobi. It's called Wall Against War. So you will hear it in future. Thanks.
Thank you, Comrade Joseph. The next person I'd like to give a chance is Ladoka. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad to be back here on this chair. And I think maybe the organizers were trying to throw me off my game if this were to be done yesterday prior to the political group speaking. But I think it will work out well. In terms of the youth, I personally cannot talk of the youth without talking of the state of the Sudanese families. Because the way I see it, parents are always the role model of the children. And for those children to succeed, whether the parents wanted to step out and claim that the children fell on their own, the failure of the child is the failure of the parent. There is no bigger investment than investing in your own children. And when I see the state of the Sudanese family, at least in the United States, that the families are falling apart, that the marriages are not staying, that the challenges that we face by moving to a different culture is now pulling us apart rather than bringing us together, so that we will be able to share our common experience to face the challenges that are coming forward. It's not something that we would have predicted prior to coming to this country. But I know that there are people sitting here who will testify to the reality that the Sudanese experience has not been a pleasant experience in terms of family in the United States. And that is because of a lot of competitions that exist in the marketplace that the parent has to navigate to be able to raise a successful family in the United States. That being said, the children in Southern Sudan are not doing well either. And that is not because of their own making, but the misplacement of the priorities. I was reading the Obasanjo report, which was released, I don't know how long, but maybe a week or so ago. And when I look into the numbers in terms of what is the funding that goes to the education, I realized that 6% of the national budget goes to education. 10% of the budget goes to the presidency. Now, I know that there's competing priorities in terms of how the government can prioritize the money. But the future is worth more than the present, in my view. Putting the resources where we know that now our future is in good hands is worth investing in, because the return will be handful. The parents, political leaders, business people, religious people, these people can work collaboratively. The solution will not be found in one institution. But if we take it as a challenge, then we have to take it upon ourselves to ensure that the future is brighter than what we have been experiencing for the last 50 years. We have to ensure that those children who need to be in school should be in school. Those children who will not succeed in school, what are the alternatives that we can provide so that they can thrive regardless of whether they are able to achieve or not? Here in the United States, I've been to juvenile detention centers. And the reason is because the job that I used to do deal with the young people. And sadly enough, we have more people in there that should not be in the juvenile detention centers. Communities are set up to be able to address certain concerns, but the priorities that always come up is defined by the community leader. And the initiatives that are taken to be able to reverse the trend that has been going on, I don't think is keeping up with the rate of the people going to the juvenile detention center, and I think that should be paid attention to. Thank you.
Thank you, Lado. Last but not least, I'd like to give a chance to Friday and what? Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys doing? Good. Now you've been sitting here for a while, but I suppose I just want to thank you, the organizers of this this conference, and for giving us this opportunity to be able to come before you and speak at this panel and hear many great speakers and people bring in some perspective, some reality to what it is that we're facing and some possible ways forward. And so, just going direct to the question and speaking on behalf of the youth, I don't stand here presenting a specific group or anyone in particular, but on the side of the youth, I think what is really needed in order for the youth to be involved in this talk of peace and reconciliation and consolidation for the country of South Sudan is on two fronts. Ladu here sitting next to me already touched on education. When you look at the state of South Sudan itself, there aren't opportunities for education. Education is now made a priority, whether at the elementary level, middle school, secondary, and so forth. And so without really an education, at least a basic education, you're not equipping people to be able to take part in what it is that you want in the country. You're leaving them crippled. And so they are of no help to you, yet you desire them to help, but they can't. And then looking in on the U.S. front, we know that there are youth that have given themselves and have been educated and are doing well, and there are opportunities here for others to be educated as well. Then it becomes a matter of choice and also a matter of the support. And so really I think what the youth need is a voice, because there are those that are educated here. There are those that are equipped. There are those that are trained. There are those that have skills, that have abilities that God has gifted to do many works, whether the work of reconciliation, whether work within education, government, whatever different places it is that God is calling you to be of service. And so I think in particular, giving the youth a voice within an organization like this, and that's why I am thankful for a conference like this, because I don't think it has ever happened, at least not in my awareness, that we've had a conference where the youth were able to partake and at least have a voice, have a perspective. And even beyond just a general youth, I'm also encouraged by my sister here, because I know the girls and the women themselves, maybe some of the more younger women don't really get that voice, get to put in their perspective, and really have an opportunity to be in a place of leadership, to partake in an organization, knowing that they can do something and are wanting to do something. And so giving the youth a voice, I think, is a great place to start, and also supporting organizations that you start to be able to partake in what you want to do for South Sudan. So thank you.
Let us give them one more round of applause. I think you guys did a wonderful job. At this point, we are going to take questions, and we're only going to take... Okay, it's changed, used to 5 questions. We're going to limit it to 5 questions because we're, time is always of essence. So each person only gets 1 minute to quickly ask a question. And so...
You should remind people in particular to just get straight to the question.
Yes, let's not go around, let's go straight to the question because of, lack of time. I'd like to give Justin McCare a chance.
Thank you very much. My question to the youth group is what are you guys doing as youth to recognize yourself, to be aware of what others are doing. I know you guys were in Luandeng Foundation, and there are a lot of youth groups from South Sudan that are doing miracles, doing great things that need to be seen. Is there any effort that you guys are doing to talk to our embassy, the government, so that you guys could be recognized? We have a lot of kids that are striving in basketball, NCAA, gymnastics, you name it. Is there any database that you guys are establishing so that you guys can know yourself, so that those experiences that you have could be used and utilized in our country? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think the question is, what are we as a youth, or what are we doing to recognize ourselves here in the United States? Are there any efforts that we're taking to connect with the embassy and to be, for people to know what we're doing? I'd like to give somebody else a chance from that side. Okay, I'd like to give you a chance. I don't know, yeah.
You as young people on this stage today seem to reject to be used by any politician to go to war. Youth organizations in diaspora, are you ready to connect with the youth organizations at home and give them the message based on... Thank you very much, I need it. Okay, are you ready to connect with the youth organizations at home and give them the message that these politicians must not use us as tools for them to get the money and marry more wives and produce more children to use again and again and again? Are you ready to do that? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think the question was, are you as a youth here in the United States ready to connect with the youth back home? The next person I'd like to give a chance to is Mr. Bob Ryan.
Thank you. My question is a very simple yes or no question. We're working with a large foundation in Tanzania that's training youth up, 10 million youth up in economics, leadership, and in morality. Are you interested in getting connected with that group and learning more about it?
Thank you. We only have 2 more people to give a chance. I'm sorry, the middle row, we have to give a chance to people on the other side. I'd like to give you a chance. Miss in the black jacket.
Hello, everybody. Okay, my question is for the different youth organizations that are out there that are doing something, what is it that you guys would want from Sudanese communities or even the leaders to help you guys?
Okay, the question was, what are, for all the different youth organizations, how would you like the South Sudanese communities to get involved?
I prefer to get down. Young people, thank you very much from the moderator. All three you've challenged us a lot. I I have one question. One of the speakers, you did say a lot of our youth are really going into the prison system, juvenile detention. My question is, what can we as community do, in your opinion and your experience working with families? Thank you. What can we do as communities to reduce the rate of our children going into the juvenile detention?
Okay.
Yeah.
That is an excellent question. She's saying that what can we do to eliminate this problem of our youth going into detention, as that has become a big problem in our South Sudanese community. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately we have exhausted the time, so at this point we are going to allow the youth panel members to answer the questions. As you know, let's just keep it brief. Each person has a minute or so to just get to the point and answer. Thank you. The first person I'd like to start with, let's change it around. I'm going to start with you. Joseph, go ahead.
Yeah, the question that I will answer is the youth effort. What are the efforts the youth are doing? Well, the effort the youth are doing right now, I'm not going to speak on the whole youth, but I'm going to speak on my behalf, what I see as I participate in. We are doing a lot. We do, for example, we do gather. If there is a intention that is going to create uprising, we try to minimize that by, by writing some of the letters, newsletters or other things to avoid those things to happen. We do that silently. It's happening. I see that. So about the internet, I will jump to this one on my part. About the internet, on my part, I don't know, I'm one of the internet actually. So, but to stop that, it is up to individual, because based on the Facebook fallacy, it is individual who make a decision to post what they want to post. But if you want to make a complaint, you can do that. Yeah, we actually I even made a successful 4 or 5 complaints in which people lost their account. It's very simple. So you can do that, but it have to be legit. It have to meet a certain criteria to eliminate someone's account. So those are the things, those are options that happen, but there are so many other threats we know, but those are just people's opinions. Most of the things don't happen. Okay? Most of the things may happen, but most of the things don't happen. So that's what I'm saying. And I answer that part of internet. Okay, let me jump to the number 3. Are you ready to connect with the youth in Tanzania? Did you stay in Tanzania? Okay, yeah. Of course, we are interested to, if there are opportunities in which someone may have for youth to express or to participate, we are really welcome to help you to join, basically. And like I say, in my website, we have actually the program of youth empowerment. Where the youth can, try to do more likely funds. What youth need is fund. They need money to run their activities. So that's what the youth need. Another thing, so that's answered the question number 4 even. Okay, how to stop the internet? I already answered that. So I think I completed most of the things. So I don't want to take a lot of time. And thank you. I can take long if I want to.
Thank you for being mindful of time. Next, Comrade Tino.
Thank you. Well, this is a good question, actually, and I think I would want to dive to the question that was raised here regarding connecting with the youth at home to pass the message that it's time for us to reject and refuse to be mujahideen with the politicians. In fact, yes, we are willing to do that. We are willing to pass the message to our people, to our young men, to reject being mujahideen for the politicians. Because the real persons who face the bullets are the young people. The ones who sit in parliament, who walk around in big suits and big ties like me, they just lie to you and give you guns. We are willing to work with the youth and ask them to embrace peace and ask them to embrace realities and to understand that guns do kill. And the people who give them guns actually are not fighting in the front line. They are not there. It is the youth that destroy themselves. And then they go behind and tell you that the youth are the future of the nation. There is no nation, there is no future. We are dead. So we are willing to do that. The only challenge that we may have definitely is, looking back, right now we're talking of a language of peace, a language of reconciliation, and a language that is geared towards nation building. The problem is some of the chiefs on the two sides of the war, if you look back at the history of how things went from December 2013 all the way here, people want to hear what they want to hear. So connecting is difficult, we will have challenges, but we appeal to all of us who are here, elders, community leaders, government, employees, to help us. Since we're talking of peace and reconciliation, help us to connect. Work with us and help us reach out to all parts of South Sudan equally, not favoring what you want to hear, but simply carrying the message of peace so we can work together. We are willing to do that. We'll try, but I know for sure that there may be challenges. Please work with us to help us in that. Regarding the internet warriors that the diaspora, the young people have been taking part in, yes. When there are no forums for people to express themselves freely, like what we have right now, we can discuss our own minds. What do people do? Here we have those internet parliaments. You go online, sit behind your computer and write what you're going to write. Because that's the only way you can express yourself. But yes, communications can be positive, can bring good things. Communications can also be destructive, as we have seen. If we look around Africa and borrowing from our neighbors, we've seen that the media has been used to destroy people. All right, let me summarize, please, if you can.
Okay, make it quick.
All right, thank you. We'll try to, of course, scale down by creating more forums like this so that people can have an open discussion and know ourselves. Now, regarding youth detentions, I work for the court system as a court interpreter with my friend Leo Dola here. I've seen a lot of young people in jail, and some of them have been in courts, and I see young people appearing before judges. They don't know what's going on. What do? They're there. The public defenders are there just giving the suggestions. You know what? Accept it. Simply plead guilty, and this situation is resolved today. Not knowing the consequences of that. You plead guilty today, yes, you'll get off, you'll be left to go, but it's going to carry on with you for a long time. So most of our young men are not getting the legal help that they ought to get. And to help that, the recommendation that I think works is for us to have forums that we can discuss legal issues, legal consequences of decisions that young people make. And we need parents, youth, including professionals. We need to have a place like this where we can talk and share our experiences. One of the problems is you suffer in your own house with your own kids, your own youth, in your own house, teenagers. What do? We try to hide so we can present a good image. My bed, Beti alhamdulillah kwezi. Yani alhamdulillah kwezi. My kids are fine. You are hiding a time bomb in your house. We have a lot of problems. We have problems. When we talk about them, people learn. My brother can learn from it, somebody can learn from it, and we can address our youth well. As long as we are hiding, as long as we are pretending, showing that our families are good, we will continue to send our young men to prisons. Let us save them by creating a forum. Let us save them by sharing our experiences as parents. Shukran.
Thank you, Comrade Mado. Next is Alred.
Thank you all for your questions. I guess just wanted to say that the South Sudanese Youth Congress is a grassroots movement, so we're still working on individual communities and reconnecting the youth in those needs. So we would love the support of the government and other NGOs, especially for our sort of larger goals in terms of internships and making the transition back to South Sudan easier for a lot of youth that are qualified and are willing and able to go back. And with the issue of social media, it's obviously a powerful tool that we all can use, and lately it's been a bit destructive. But in order to combat that, I think the best way to go about it is to create our own narratives, and we need to make a choice and lead by example. So we need to celebrate each other instead of reproducing negative images if we don't want to see them. And with the issue of what other support that we need from the communities, obviously funding was one issue that was brought up. Funding is really important for us to create these programs. The other thing is that parents are welcome to participate in our programs and to contribute to the healthy discussions that we do have. And even on a personal level, I think it's important for parents and other community leaders, elders in the community, to not limit the potential of the youth. I think there's like this obsession with certain like careers or certain aspirations that you have for your children. But I think the best way to sort of, excuse me, I lost my train of thought, but the best way to sort of encourage the youth to reach their fullest potential is for them to be comfortable with being themselves and to not feel like they have to study a specific thing or go to a certain career field. I think if we have a variety of different interests and we explore that, if we take the time to have youth take their own time into becoming better versions of themselves and not a better version of whoever you think they should be. I think at a personal level, that's very important for us to encourage our youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Alred. Next is Badula Doka.
Thank you. Let me start with the juvenile delinquency. What I learned is, I think the family play a big role. Parents or mentors, people who have at least went to the school system, graduated, and now doing well for themselves, those people need to come back and be able to mentor the young people that are growing up. And that will at least give them the opportunity to think that if I do what X, Y, and Z have done, I will also be able to succeed. I will be able to find my own path to have a comfortable life. Those opportunities are very limited, at least speaking for Auckland, Maine, because I lived there for a long time and I know exactly inside of that community. The opportunity for young people that have succeeded or even parents who come to mentor young people are not there. In terms of financing, we have our priorities wrong. I know that it's our responsibility to bury our dead. But there is something called life insurance in America. If we can all insure ourselves so that when I die, that insurance will take care of my remains, and so that when we pick up a phone call and call that we need a contribution from you, we will go and be invested in those activities that the young people are doing in the community. It's a better way of doing it than I always contribute to bury somebody. Why the young people are going to jail instead of going to career path that will improve the community. And about the group in Tanzania, of course, there will always be an opportunity to be able to learn from them, and they can learn from us, and then see how we can move forward to be able to create a community that's viable and peaceful. Influencing the internet warriors, I think right now, or the last 23 months that you guys have seen those internet warriors is based on the politics in Southern Sudan. But as the peace has been signed and things will be heading into a different path, you will see that those internet warriors will not be in service for that long, because the need will not be there. And if the need is not there, the investment will disappear. And so I think it's a matter of time before those things will sort itself out. Thank you.
Suppose I'll start with a Tanzania question. As for me in particular, in the circumstances that I'm in, I'm not able to be involved with something like that, but I think it is a great opportunity for South Sudan. I know I went there in 2013 actually, prior to the events I'm talking about, and I know that there is a Ministry of Youth Services. I think if it's still around, that might be a great connection, great place to start to get those trainings, to get those types of things out to youth that are willing and that are in need of that type of training and equipping to be able to go out and be involved in some type of work. In particular, the other question, are we ready to partner with the government or want government support? I think, yeah, that'd be a great connection for the government to look for ways to support the youth and connect with the youth. I, in particular, haven't really reached out to try to connect with the embassy here or in South Sudan for that type of means, because I know the place that I'm in and the things that I'm able to do and the gifts that I have and what I want to do in support of South Sudan, in support of youth. I know the calling that God has for me, and in particular what I can do with that. And so, but definitely I think that's a necessary thing for the youth to be able to connect with the embassy and find out how they can partner with the government and how the government can partner with them and support them. As for youth services here, what are the needs? Already said, pretty much repeating it, beating a drum on the head. Fundings is a big thing. You can't do anything without resources. Money in particular. You can't have events. You can't rent out places to have conferences, to have basketball clinics, to have educational clinics, whatever it is, these different things. And so, but also with that, parental support or just the support of the community in general. You don't necessarily have to be parents when they have these events to come out and support them wholeheartedly, show that you do care. I know that you parents in particular are busy. I know in my own life with work, with school, with those of you that have kids, those different things. But when these events come around, when we have these events that are community oriented, even if it's, in particular, if it's being led by the youth, to have the support of the parents and other family come. I think it's a wonderful thing. As far as internet warriors, I guess in my own dealings, I don't think there's much you can say without feeling the fire, even if it's a good thing. It just kind of turns back on. And so I tend to keep my distance from that. But as Ladu was saying, it is a season, and we hope that it does die out. But at the same time, in dealing with it in the immediate, is to lead by example in our sphere of influences in what we talk about, and not in support of what they're saying, but rather raising up the positives, painting a different picture than what is being said in our different connections. So I think those were all the questions. If I miss one, you can remind me.
Thank you very much, everyone on the panel. You guys did a fantastic job. Before we conclude this session, I'd like to give Joseph a minute. He said he has an announcement.
Let us respect time. And that's what we need. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to conclude this session by just making one point.
I believe none of us here would like others to abduct or raid your cattle, or destroy your property, or kill your children, or do anything to harm you. So with that spirit, with that Bible statement, let us take that into our heart and go and do to others people. Starting from here in diaspora and going back home. If we do to others the same way we would like them to do to us, I believe we will have peace within us and with others. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you again on this last day of this historical conference, South Sudan Conflict Resolution, the road to peace and democracy. Would like to acknowledge the presence of the head of South Sudan diplomatic mission to the United States, His Excellency Ambassador Garan Ding. And also with him, Deputy Head of Mission, Ambassador Bob Wall. And also, I believe, if not here, Ambassador Gordon Boy. And also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of all friends of South Sudan and for all what they're doing. So, thank you all. And we would like to thank you all, South Sudanese, for your patience and your dedication to be here for 3 days. I hope you have enjoyed and you're enjoying this great conference. So thank you very much. For the last 2 days, we heard from our political parties, from community leaders, elders, from youth, women, and we heard from the experts. And today also will be another great day. We will hear from the U.S. government. We will have 2 more presentations, and we will hear from ourselves through a workshop that will be conducted by our brother James Makur. Actually, he's James Holland. He gave himself, he's there, and Sister Jack Wilson. I think she's right. But we will have those workshops where we're going to break into groups. So please don't miss this kind of opportunity. And we will also hear from His Excellency, Ambassador Gura. I think he has a lot of good things that he would like to tell us. And also, after that, we will conclude our conference with some closing remarks from our keynote speaker, David Bessioni, and also from the chairman of the Splm USA Secretariat, Larija Bedrubek, and of course from the Embassy of South Sudan in the Washington, D.C. So these are all what is left. So I ask for your patience as you get in the last 2 days so that this program can end in a beautiful way, the way we started it. So now may I ask the comrades to come and introduce the next speaker, and I believe after that we'll have
وطننا واحد رئيسنا واحد أسفلم نمبر 1 نحن كلنا أسفلم Splm.